the information I've been studying for the last 34 years of my life, trying to give you a quick presentation as to how you can ascend your life and ascend your reality with this information. I wanted to give it to you for free. You can then log on to all the websites and check out more information and put things into practicality. A lot of this information has benefited my life, a lot of the clients that I work with and help, and so I really wanted to just give it to you for free before the World Wide Web possibly closes down. Anyway, first picture we're going to go to is the cell. This is the blueprint of the body. It's the building brick which makes the house, the school, the heart, the lung. If you can think of a building brick that can make the Empire State Building, and the same building brick will make the school across the street or my house. It's basically able to construct different areas of our body. It can construct the heart, the lungs, the brain, the skin cells, and this cell has an outer membrane which allows certain things either in it, based upon a sacred discrimination, or if it doesn't allow it in it, there's another theory that says it just carbon copies the information that presses next to it. So just imagine you're getting ready to rip a CD, your favorite music CD, you slide in a blank CD and it rips the copy so that you have now the new CD that had the information uploaded on the hard drive. And the same thing goes for our cells. The other thing you really want to pay attention to is if you damage your cells based upon negative actions, behavioral patterns, toxins, free radicals, then when you take that negative to the store, when you had the old cameras, remember we take the old cameras, if you got a scratch on the negative frame or slide, from then on, every positive print that you would try to reproduce would have the scratch in it. And you might have to go and pay a lot of money to have that scratch removed, but it would never be the same. So you really want to pay attention to trying to keep your cell integrity preserved. Sacred discrimination, hydrogen, water, oxygen, food, the information you give them. All right? And the next one. All right. The biosuit, the human body. This is where I got all my expertise from because I was studying for personal training reasons, because I was a champion athlete and fighter. So, you know, I had to study how to master this human body so that I could be fast and punch and do whatever it was quicker than the opponent. I'm not interested in fighting anymore because it damages me and it damages the opponent. I'm interested in helping fellow man and preserving myself. So as much as I can actually fight, it's not my goal to go around fighting people with this wisdom. It's to try and serve people. But that's where I got my foundation for this wisdom. And now I just enjoy being fit and doing all the things that are associated with gymnastics, running, martial arts, track and field. So in order to be able to maintain this, as I get ready to turn 35, I have to maintain my cells and maintain my body and figure out what it is that's going on with our biosuit. The biosuit is flesh, and it's a nervous system that runs through it. It's pretty much like an electrical circuit. And this electrical circuit relies upon the metals we ingest, the minerals. We've sometimes been deficient in iron, zinc, copper, and magnesium through our lives. As an athlete, we know we've got to get those minerals in. But now there's minerals like gold, silver, platinum, and indium that are coming on the market. And why is it we weren't told about these minerals that we should be ingesting? I mean, everyone flosses them, puts them around their neck, put them in their teeth. But the truth is, if we are a representation of Mother Earth, right, maybe we need gold in our body. Because gold is actually a superconductor. So it will allow our body to have an upgraded nervous system. Faster thinking, clearer, healthier, detoxifying, and possibly upgrading all our physical abilities too. So I'm doing a lot of experimentations with those minerals and metals. Now, once you recognize that this biosuit is very similar to a car, the way we construct it and move it, we breathe in oxygen, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, much the way a car takes in oxygen and lets out carbon monoxide. We have fuel cells, carbohydrates. If we eat proper fruits and vegetables, the fuel actually stores in our tissues. So in this tissue here is glycogen. Glycogen is the fancy word really for carbohydrates. And they store, so when I want to contract my muscles, the stored glycogen is what actually is being used as the fuel. The electrical unit that runs through it is the nervous system, which is very similar to a spark plug on a car. So if a car is not going to start up, it's because the spark plug isn't giving it an electrical spark. So you need, you know, air, which contains the oxygen. you need the fuel system, and you need the spark, which is the fire. So it's fire, air, and fuel. And that's similar to a car, isn't it? So when you realize that the human body is like a car, why is it that we don't take better care of our human body? We're always running around getting the next tricked out ride every other year, but your human body's got to last you for several decades, maybe even a century. So the best thing to do is put all that time, energy, and money that you invest into your car, into you, into your consciousness, into your physical structure, because your spirit lives in this structure. You are not necessarily your body, you are the spirit, but your spirit experiences reality in this physical structure. This is your biosuit. All right, next one. So, we all start out as cute little coochie coos, like this. Cute little babies. Isn't he cute? Yeah. 95% water at birth, and then we begin deteriorating in water content as we go on. We're going to get into that later. I'm going to show you a picture of the difference between a baby and an elderly person. But the important thing that I want to start sharing with you right now is that babies between the age of 0 to 5 learn more than they'll ever learn in their lives. Why is that? Because we learn through pictures. Pictures are actually the things that imprint into our mind, and we never forget them. That's why the Egyptians used hieroglyphics to write, because that was their way of learning. Now we thought, oh, we get complicated and start writing things down, because then we're becoming more sophisticated. But not necessarily, because maybe we retarded ourselves. Because if the children are learning at a rate that cannot even be explained, because they're learning about everything that we then come to know as normal for the rest of our lives, and then at 5, we have a rapid decline of learning due to the introduction of written word, maybe we should have continued using the pictures. Maybe that's the reason why the Egyptians were able to lift 250-ton stones, and the Temple of Jerusalem has a stone in it, 400 tons. Something's going on with their wisdom that they had in that civilization that we're missing in ours. And I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with the fact that we would continue to learn more with pictures. Hence, I'm doing a picture show for you to make sure that you can imprint these images in your mind and retain it all. Here we have a baby horse, a foal. What's the difference between the baby horse and the human baby? Besides the obvious, of course, 4 legs and everything, it's got hair, stinks a little more. I don't know, some babies stink pretty bad, but the difference, the major difference I want you to pay attention to is that the baby horse, which is a foal, walks within about 10 or 20 minutes of birth. How is that possible? Why is it that a human baby is pretty helpless for the first year? And even after a year, it's stumbling. It could be due to the fact that the horse has a superior way of being conceived, carried during the pregnancy term, and then when it's given birth to, it's immediately given an organic environment to come out. Whereas a human baby often is conceived when the parents were having a night of partying out, drinking, let's say the dad was drinking beer, the mom was having some wine, and they both had some wine, and they had a filet mignon, and then they had some mashed potatoes, then they had the nightcap, pizza, whatever, boom. Conception takes place. Alcohol in the bloodstream of the human being, alcohol in the semen, alcohol in the wombs and the egg. So this baby is taking its first step into life in a drunk environment. Also, with a lot of cooked food, which we'll show you later, contains very little electrical energy, little life force, chi energy. The baby horse, however, is conceived when the parents are in an organic grass field or a forest, and there is no drunken bloodstream. The mother and father's meal that night was fresh leaves, grass, apples, and carrots, and the entire time the child was in the womb of the mother horse, this child was basically being fed the nutrients that the mother ingested, which was all raw food, like grass, which actually contains the highest level of minerals, vitamins, nutrition, and has got a huge level of life force energy like chi in comparison to all foods across the board. I mean, I had a book on wheatgrass. You study that, you'll be astounded to know that it contains more minerals than any of the fleshes, all of the spinaches and the broccolis. Wheatgrass is super powerful stuff. If anything, is so powerful that when we take it, we become a little overwhelmed by it. But horses chew that up little by little each day. The child is then ingesting all those minerals and that vitamins, and the child is also getting the life force energy from it, the chi. So if we look at the environment as to how each child has been nurtured, the baby foal has had a superior nurturing from the minute it was conceived.